Welcome back to the Six Figure Speaker Spotlight, the show where we uncover how public speaking can skyrocket your success and transform your business. Today, we're diving into the intersection of technology and leadership with a truly visionary guest. We're exploring the revolutionary worlds of AI and Web3 and how they are reshaping the future of leadership, business, and beyond. If you've ever wondered how cutting-edge technology can be harnessed to create value, drive innovation, and lead ethically in this rapidly evolving landscape, then you won't want to miss this episode. So let's get started. Joining us today is Djuradj Caranovic, a trailblazer in the realms of AI and Web3 technology. As the mastermind behind the AI and I newsletter, Djuradj has been at the forefront of leveraging emerging technologies to transform leadership and create value. His expertise lies in innovative leadership strategies, practical AI implementation, and the profound integration of technology and humanity. Today, he's here to share his insights on how AI and Web3 are not just reshaping industries, but also redefining what it means to be a leader in the digital age. So get ready for an enlightening discussion that promises to change the way you think about the future of work, technology, and leadership. Welcome, Djuradj.
Thank you so much for this interesting intro. It was very nice to hear so much nice things about my work. It sounds so interesting.
I'm so glad. I love to be able to create the intros from all the wonderful things I'm able to research about my guests, and it's truly inspiring. The things that you're doing make a difference. I want to go back, though. I always like to know where someone has come from, how it started for them. I know that you are originally from Serbia, right?
Yeah, actually, back then I'm economist, and I finished for the behavioral economy, and my path was around digits about finance, but I didn't like that path. And actually, I understand in that point of time that I didn't want to focus on the past. I wanted more to focus on the future. And then it actually organically transformed me to some project management. And that actually, this is my first thing how to touch was the machine learning at that point of the time. It was how to automate the process. And as we all already know, all the project management are tech lead usually, and then technology leads, then the people follow. And I didn't like that approach, but in corporate environment, you cannot say that out loud. And basically, this was my eager and spark to create something which will be human-centric and not so tech-centric and not so project-centric. And I started back in 2011, let's say, to understand that first we have automatizations, then we have a machine learning, then we have some sort of AI, which we now call LLM. And then now we are going more and more deep about how to incorporate these automatizations in everyday workflow and life as well.
And let me ask you something, though. Go back to this.
Yeah.
You were doing this. Were you doing this all in Serbia?
No, I was first in Serbia, then I went to Spain, then I went short to Bucharest, Romania, then I finished in Portugal. I as well had some connections with the US 2 years with one client, but I was mainly focused on the Europe.
You are a global citizen. And
yes,
I'm stunned when I think about it, how long there are so many people that are just now discovering machine learning, so to speak, the AI that we're all getting exposed to now. But you've been doing this for quite a while. This started a long time ago. It was just a selective portion of the global landscape that understood what was really going on. A lot of people have been in the dark for a long time. So really, did you know that you were way ahead of your time when this was happening? And could you have imagined that it's where it is today now?
No, actually, it was my laziness because my passion about automatization is coming from my laziness. I was so bored to to do the same task again and again, and to reply to boring emails, and to do some part of the projects which are not so excited. And in every work, we have some parts which are not excited about. And then I was always trying to figure it out how to done by someone else or to done automatically with some machine. And then from it came about me logically that I'm not alone in it, and that most people want to do the same, but don't know how, and don't know how to ask relevant questions. And the other part of the medal is they're afraid, because if you give something to the machine, then what you are doing with the spare time, or is it you are replaceable too much or not, then especially in some corporate environment. And actually for me was a little bit stubbornness regarding that fear. I didn't want to fear about it, and then I went through it to understand first how it is done, and then to offer others how can be done, and not to jeopardize or don't this. The keyword now is resilience. In everybody's talking about resilience, and how not to create too much resilience regarding the technology.
So true. And I love that you addressed the fear. First of all, that you had your own fear about it, and so you went out and found out about it. And you're right. I think that a lot of people are afraid that AI may potentially replace them in the work situation that they're in, because AI can do so many things. But at the same time, AI can make your life and your job easier. You might actually have a life. You might actually get to do other things, because it shortens the time that it takes to do tasks. Just that alone, time saving. That is far more interesting than money. It's the ability to save time and be able to use your creativity. So I love that. Now let's talk about your passion. Clearly, from all of the research that I was doing about you, leadership is a #1 priority for you.
Yes.
And how to leverage AI and Web3 in leadership. Talk to us about that.
Actually, I started as a consultant, and then after 1 year, I was in a company that have a threshold about $150,000, and project below that, they didn't want to do it. And I was the guy for asking, please, can I do those projects that you don't want to do it? And I will give you some percentage out of the project. And they said yes. And actually, this was the first time that I was introduced to big corporates, and actually a hand was sold regarding the projects, but all the leadership was against that. They don't want the automatization. They don't want to be data-driven decisions. They don't want that, because they're feeling that they are losing authority, and they are losing their leadership status, and they're losing their perspective about the strategies regarding the company. And actually, my first task was to understand how to communicate with them, because most of them, and usually in corporations, most of the leadership are 50+ years old in the board and board management. And they are actually always having the same ritual about asking, look, we are still earning money, why to change something? And my first actually challenge was to show them that it's not about technical change, it's not like behavioral or cognitive change, it's change of way of thinking. And they like that, because I am as well now giving, and I believe strongly in that most of our decision making are traditional ones. It's based on society, based on location, based on our surroundings, about the family we grow up. This is our core decision making, how we develop it. It's 60%. And then there is a modern part regarding changing about 40%. And now on the plate is AI actually to cover this 40%, but AI will never change fully the decision-making part. And then like that, when you explain them like that, they understand, okay, I'm safe, because 60% is mine, nobody can take it. And this 60% is actually unique mix of our skills and experience. And this is uniquely authentic to ourselves. And then we have this AI attack on ourselves and on our skill sets, which is currently now in the trends, but it's a trend in some way. What we'll kept from AI is just some sort of the parts, and we learn how to utilize this tool and think with enhancing our way of thinking with this tool. In practical way, boring stuff we'll do AI, interesting stuff we'll do ourselves, because we want like that to be. And then we will then a little bit shift towards the goal, which is more interesting for us. And we know that some boring stuff on the way will be covered by some AI. And actually, this is happening now.
It is. It's a gift, actually. I understand the reticence that people have in first trying to use it, especially if you're in an older age group. The kids, this is just second nature to them. They've been doing games forever, so it just is so simple. But I think for an older generation, not just being afraid of being replaced, but how can I use it, that counts too, but how can I use this? And am I going to be any good at this? But really what you find when you're working with some of this AI, it betters your game. It ups your skill set. And if you consider working with it like a partner almost, everybody, it's all getting elevated. You're getting elevated, your work's getting elevated. And now you have some time to actually have, I notice when I'm working with it, depending on what piece I'm working with, I appreciate the suggestions and then I add more suggestions to it. So it's really a give and take, and it's learning how to work with it well. And I think the mystery that people have about it, what you find out is you don't disappear. You actually become more engaged and it's more interesting.
Exactly.
You don't have to do all the boring things anymore that have to be done, but you don't want to do them.
Exactly, especially because now the people are thinking about AI as a one individual, or let's say some sort of the person. But AI is more about organization. So he can replace a bunch of stuff like organization wise, while the whole village we can have in one AI, not just one person. And this is actually the full utilization of AI, because we can now have the several things in one, let's say, instance. And this is actually what the way of thinking should be a little bit shift, that now from AI, you can gather not just one, let's say, skill set or one workflow, you can get simultaneously bunch of it, 10 of it, or 15 of it. So you can ask the AI currently act as a team of X people and act of the team of experts of X people, and then get the perspective from each member. So this is very useful for the, especially in leadership, when you want to test your product or service, you can simulate now the group regarding AI and then virtually test it. And actually, from my experience, we tested with real people, real group of people and AI. The match is 85%. So it's a good enough. It will be better over time, but now it's even 85%, which is good enough for prototyping and testing the way of thinking or some ideas.
It's absolutely incredible. It's magical for handling market research. And as you just described, it's so great to be able to give it parameters and have it give you back real-time perspective on what each of those groups would come up with, what they would respond with. And to be able to do a study with actual humans and to see that it comes so close, that's exciting. Think of all the time and money that can be saved and be much more effective studies.
Exactly. And regarding mistakes as well, because if you have mistakes in survey with real people, you need to have at least 3 or 4 weeks to cover those mistakes and ask additional questions. With AI, you can do in seconds. So this is now feedback as well. But again, what is now we are going for, imagine if everybody has AI, if everybody is fully optimized, if everybody has enhanced their skill sets through AI, only the idea will be stood out and way of thinking, because we all have the same tools. And this
That's
is
true.
actually AI is now helping us to gather our authenticity, and actually is pushing now that more experts, you are now more expensive because all the basic stuff will be covered with AI.
That's so awesome to find out. Now, let me ask you on cutting edge methods, what do you think are some of the practical tools or methods that leaders can start using today to integrate AI into their organizations so that they have enhanced productivity and they do have better decision making?
Yeah.
What can they use out there that's available to them?
Yeah. First level is text to text. You can use ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Copilot, whatever you can choosing now. My personal reference regarding the writing and content is Claude. Regarding some advanced stuff is ChatGPT, especially with O1 model now. And this is like basic level. It's I'm asking something and I'm getting text as a return, and it's good enough for me. As well, I can ask them now for some advanced prompting, but just to people understand, AI currently, ChatGPT and everybody else, doesn't understand the content. They are like dictionaries, and they can predict very well the next word, but they cannot understand the content you are asking for. So you must provide the insight, the content. You can, if you don't provide it, you will get the hallucinations and you will get very shallow answers. So this is the first layer. The second layer is text to action. And we all know this is AI agents. And actually for them, we are asking for the outcome. So I would like, let's say, to have post from this podcast, and I want to have short videos to every social network. And this is AI agent. Usually now the most popular one is make.com regarding automatization of the processes, and then can utilize, he can have one video separated by, he understand the content, and then he separated to the small videos, let's say 1 minute length, and then post it automatically to all your social networks, and then track it, how the response are. And then let's say if Instagram and LinkedIn is boosting, then he automatically then boosts that with the paying ads or whatever you want to channel to this action. So this is like second layer, and you need to have a little bit of knowledge how to establish it. But again, it's much easier than before, and it's built for the people. It's not built for developers or some scientists to utilize it. So it's not so difficult to utilize. And then the third layer is actually about for the companies. And if you have a business, then it's more about the processes and how you're doing things and what can he do it automatically. So let's say summarize some emails, understand the project you're working on and giving feedback. You can now utilize that in ChatGPT as well to import the full project you want, and then asking, please give me perception from expert X, or please give me perception for audience, and this is the audience target group. So you can immediately have some sort of feeling, are you on good track or not? And my favorite prompt actually, can you please give me the mistakes I made?
Oh, that's great.
And actually, I'm more asking about mistakes and gaps I created than he prolonged that this is a super successful, just a little bit tweaking. I really want more feedback about my mistakes and gaps I created.
That's incredible. I hadn't even thought about that. That's
And
how useful that would be.
yes, and actually the most useful thing is about perception of your clients or your employees or something like that. So you're asking perceptions from that source of people, and then he can simulate a lot around that. And the second thing actually is if you don't have any idea and you want to think of something regarding prototyping, he can now do like 70%. We actually tested with a startup. AI now is capable to do like from zero to registering the startup 80% of the work. So filling the documents, filling the contracts, giving you the template of the contract, giving you what you need to sign and where and to send it where. And it depends on the country and the region. The more the government is AI friendly, it's better, it's faster. The more the government is not so AI friendly, you need to go physically and do the final steps. But now we tested, we can now in Europe, we can now in 3 hours establish fully company.
My goodness, that's amazing. I just,
So,
boy,
so it took like 7 days, like 2 years before. So it
that's
is,
just amazing. I know I've had the experience. I've done plenty of business plans for companies, and
yeah,
it would take several weeks to really create a comprehensive, sometimes for a huge business, 80, 90 pages, right?
yeah,
I've done them in a really short period of time
exactly,
because
exactly.
it was so helpful. And you still have to work with it. You still have to make decisions, but it kept the process going so
Yeah.
quickly. So phenomenal.
One more tweak, you can save in the Word prompt or what you want, and then input it as a file in a ChatGPT and just run this from the document. So you will utilize the tokens behind it, and you will have actually more tokens than regarding conversation with AI and not regarding asking, because you're limited to 1 million token per session, and you can utilize now more regarding utilizing prompts from the documents because he's not using the tokens out of it.
I wouldn't even have known that. What's the maximum that it will take? 10,000. What did you say?
It's 1 million tokens. It's around 500 pages.
500 pages.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh, you could just break it up that way. You could break it
Yeah.
up differently to be able to
Yes.
consume and
Yes.
have it connect
Yes.
with you. That's just amazing to me. Phenomenal. So is coming up with 1 million. That's unbelievable. So now a thought-provoking question that I have. There's going to be key shifts for leaders that they need to be prepared for. How do you envision balancing this insanely rapid advancement of technology with the need for ethical considerations and human touch in the area of leadership? What do you think?
It's challenging currently. I'm saying that currently now executives will be replaced with executives who are utilizing AI. But regarding the ethics, because now we are just starting to have regulations regarding AI, and a little bit that government policy is slower than development of AI, it needs to be a little bit aligned more in the future to catch the fast development of new models coming out. So currently ethics is on us, it's not on some regulated system. This is the first thing. The second thing, when usually in AI world we are talking about ethics, is actually asking the question how you train your model. And did you cover the privacy policy? Did you cover the authors you trained on? And do you know what kind of biases the model has? Because as human has subjectivities, the AI has biases because he's trained on some models and he's actually giving some way of thinking by that models. And currently, this is most afraid because none of the AI agents has the ability to self-regulate. So it needs to be done by human. And as well, the ethics is every day updated because the way of the AI currently is functioning is to have the successful task done. And he is not thinking a lot about how he did it. And it's a little bit our imagination to create the rules, what not to do, or actually how to behave the AI agent.
That
So
sounds a little dicey to me if
yes,
because
so
it
it's a
all
little
depends on
bit,
who's working with it, doesn't it?
yes, yes. So it's a little bit of gray area. This is the first thing. The second thing, currently, AI are in hands of big corporations, so you don't have like direct impact on it, and you are locked out in some topics currently, in some keywords regarding ethics, but that doesn't mean that you cannot utilize it, the algorithm behind it. Let's say the current hack is you can ask the D that you are writing a book and that you are making a scene, and then he will allow you to ask some questions which he are not usually allowed to ask directly. And if you have a ways to ask, you still got these gray areas how to ask something which is not so ethically correct, but you can do it. The second thing is now we have open source models which are fully unlocked, and it's basically powerful based on the database he's utilizing. So if you have a good database, then you have a powerful model for yourself. That's why currently those scopes are a little bit tricky, and that's why the big corporations and companies are not so fast regarding pushing AI upfront to the consumers. Now in retail, we have the most of it, but as we all know, it's not perfect. We are learning the most from the retail and banking sector now, how to behave regarding ethics, and they are actually the bravest one and covering all the mistakes they are made until now. But the other side is actually asking ourselves, let's have an example. We are introducing the AI agent who is having automatization of some processes in the company. And the statistic says that he is mistaking like 3 out of 10 actions. And the executive say, look, this AI, it's not good. He has 3 mistakes. And then we cover the behavior of the employees, and they have 8 out of 10 mistakes for the same task. This is now actually leveraging a little bit expectations. What is AI? He is not perfect as well, but it's better in some things than us. And in some things, he will never be better. Let's say intuition or subjectivity, when we have to have some a little bit quality seeing things in creative industries, or we have a little bit of philosophical, like in political scene. AI cannot cover that. We have to have a really good expectations what he can do and not, and is it usable for that case or not. But for some cases it's, for some cases not. And just to summarize everything, to understand, nobody currently knows what is coming out of the AI yet. All of the now companies are testing their solutions, or the companies now are testing capabilities of it. It's so much expensive to have the infrastructure for the AI and to train the model. I think only like 10 companies in the world can do it now. And we are now actually just on the starting point, understanding the capabilities, and starting point understanding actually and creating the frame around it. So it's a long way to go.
But overall, would you say that if you had to give it a percentage, overall, are you incredibly excited about the direction that we're moving towards? And do you see this as an extremely positive global change, as well as for humanity, not just business, but for humanity as a whole? Do you feel extremely optimistic about it, or do you feel, what percentage of you feels nervous about it?
It depends on the industries. In danger industries or danger jobs, AI is crucial. So fire hazard, military industry, or something like that, machines and AI will cover the human, and I'm so grateful for it. Regarding the other parts, there will be for sure some percentage of the people which will lose their jobs, but they need actually a little bit to utilize now the AI age and to enhance a little bit their skills to again have some value on the market. I will give you the example. We had a company who is dealing with translation, and they are translating the manuals for the machines. and they have a bunch of translators as employees. And now AI is good enough to translate something, and they started losing the clients. And they ask us actually how can they shift the strategy now a little bit. And they charge $400 per manual per language. And then we establish a strategy that now it's $40, what is doing AI. And if this is something specifically for some machines, they need experts' knowledge to translate something or to explain some parts, then it's a lot expensive because you now need to involve humans. And actually what happened is that mostly the companies who are producing something like that, now they are asking for more languages because it's cheaper, and then asking just for some parts involvement of the human, which is now paid more than before. So there is plus and minuses, but at the end is a positive score until now.
Change is inevitable. That's the one thing you can be sure of, is that there's going to be change. It's always been here. It always will be here. And it's really about how well you adapt to change.
Yes.
At least
Yes.
that's been my experience, is that are you willing to try something new and go into the uncomfortable zone? But this can be exciting. This can be fun. I'm all about things that create more available time for us to do the things we want to do. I see this as it pushes us to up our game, but it also opens up doors to things that we have put on the back burner for a long time, or we don't have time to do 5 different things. With AI, maybe you do. Maybe you do have a chance to run a couple of companies doing different things that you couldn't do before because you were time starved. So you have to look at the positive.
Yes, actually, now you can ask AI to how to earn money, not to have like huge expectations, but we tested with $100, and actually in 1 week we earned it. And he gave us like 7 strategies, and we did it. And on 5th strategy, we earned that $100. So it's not like huge amount of money. It's not saving, I don't know, someone's life, but it's way of thinking that you can utilize that to open the channel for one revenue. And then maybe you can utilize that and multiply that by X. It depends on what you're interested in. The second part is if you always wanted or dreamed, let's say, to renovate the apartment, but you didn't know how. Now maybe you can have a little bit help and then understand some small parts you can do it by yourself, and then some other parts to be done by professionals. So you can explore this side as well.
I cannot agree more with you. It is amazing. It is a wonderful source of information for you to explore things much faster and easier than you ever could before. And really the key to working with it successfully is it's all in the prompts. It's all in the prompts.
Yes. And
so
he's not judging.
Yeah, that makes the difference, is that you still have to be creative and ask for what you want, but what you'll find is you get so much more than what you could ever have imagined was available to you at your fingertips. What do we do with that? That's the fun of this.
Actually, I was always kidding with ChatGPT, let's say, and I'm asking as a prompt, I'm so stupid I cannot think anything to earn money. This is my first prompt. Please help me, I can do this, or I am a 41 years old male and just physical task given. And here are giving me the list of the physical task, what I can do, and what is the mostly demanding. And then I'm, okay, let's do this, and let's do this, or let's do that. So there is always some sort of stress, without stress, asking stupid questions, and then you have answer, which I'm not brave enough to ask someone else. I will never ask another human, look, I'm so stupid, can you help me? But
I love it. I love it that you shared that.
I can ask the machine.
I love it that you shared that, because it really shows the practicality that's available out there for you. I think I want to tell all of the listeners out there, don't you find it to be very user friendly? And the better you treat it, the better the relation, the information that you get back. I find myself, maybe I believe in good manners. So I will always say, "Would you please create this for me?" Or I will say, "Thank you. That was fantastic." And I'm training it to be with me. I'm training
Yes.
it to look at what I respond to and the kind of information that I want and the way I'd like it to come back to me. And you teach it what your voice is, I have to do a lot of talks, right? I have to do a lot of speeches. Oh, it's fabulous with that because it can really get your voice, and you can say, I wanted to have this tone. I wanted to deliver a compelling, impactful talk based on this subject. But still, it remembers the last 10 that it did for you. And you can always access that and say, I want to improve this now. I want to focus on this area. It's really all on how you prompt it. So that's a pretty
One more
exciting
thing,
development.
maybe it's useful for audience is you can import your CV and then ask, I want to apply to this job and I never done it. And he will correlate your current experience with the job description, and he will make your CV like plausible to apply to this job. And we tested like on 70 applying on the ads, we got response from the 15. So you have some leverage at least to go to the first interview, and then it's how you position yourself.
It's
But
true. It's very confidence building, isn't it? To have the
exactly.
information you wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
And for me, actually, you know that everybody's saying that your CV should be customized with the job description. For me, always that was a boring stuff to do. And especially when you're searching for a job and you need to send 100 CVs and you to do it 100 times, it's not mentally stimulating at all.
No.
And then you can now utilize the ChatGPT, let's say, to do for you, and he's doing excellent job. So it's this kind of little practicalities, you can utilize it and then go from there, not to expect like.
I think people would be surprised how helpful it can be in helping you discover new areas you might never have considered. So you could actually prompt it with you could say, these are the jobs that I've held in the past, and this was my role, and these were the tasks that I used to do, and that job no longer exists. Can you suggest for me, and this part I'd really like people to get, can you suggest for me 25 jobs that I would be a phenomenal candidate for? And then when it gives you those 25, this is the part I want everybody to hear. Then ask it for 25 more, and it will come up with it. And you can say, how can I best position myself for this job? It literally will help you master the interview. So
Yes.
I think I think this is a really exciting time. I understand it's a little bit scary. It's new, it's different, but it's here. So it behooves us to take advantage of it. And I think it's so exciting that you are literally dealing with companies all over the world and bringing this perspective on technology combined with human development. I think that is a very exciting. So talk about legacy. What do you want your legacy to be?
Actually, I want to push heritage of education. And I'm by nature practical guy. And I really want we have a framework established now, it's in patent phase, regarding how to utilize the knowledge you have from your heritage, learning from your grandfather, father, mother, whoever, family-wise. And then you have your knowledge you gather through your life, and then what to do next. And actually, next part is the most interesting one. And we created a framework who is actually very guessing with 93% successful rate. What's your next skill should be to get the full package regarding future growth. And let's say now you are in project management and you are asking the agent, what should I do next or learn next? he will now create a little bit out of the ordinary, maybe, but he will leverage your way of thinking through your job descriptions. And then he will leverage your geographical and social information you gave. And then he will say, okay, the best solution for you is that way. And let's say what happened was we had now in the company 2,000 employees, and we gather all 2,000 employees with HR, because you always have the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And we actually went through the framework, and usually everybody was afraid to say what actually they want. They are aligning with the company vision, and they are saying something like that. And first guy was from the project management, and the algorithm say real estate agent by weekends. And we said first to him, look, the algorithm said you should be a real estate agent by weekends. And he was like, this is my dream job. I really want to do that. And what actually was the case, and we tested it, a company provided and supported him to get the license. And because of his, let's say, happiness regarding that processes, he improved 50% performance at work. So
That's so phenomenal. That's so needs to happen.
I think, what I'm trying now executives and leadership to explain, that now you have the capabilities to impact people's lives, not just on the work environment and in the company, but outside the company. And you will give back, because now if you are having free time, and now we are focusing more on the quality and not the quantity, you will have the greater quality. And then you will not tracking is he's working 8 hours per day or 10 hours per day. You will focus what is the output of that day. And if the better output is, if I support him on being at the weekend the real estate agent, and I'm having the greater output, then let's be it.
So amazing. I can tell that you are in your lane, and this is such a passion for you. You must be so excited about getting up every day to be out there teaching people about something that is so pivotal. It's changing us as a world, not just a country, as a world. And a lot of what you do is public speaking. You're really having to do a lot of public speaking. And I wanted to ask you, tell me about the impact of public speaking for you. How has it played a role in your journey, and how has it impacted not just your business, but your revenue and your reach of getting your message out there?
Yes, actually, for me, the biggest achievement from the public speaking is conquering my ego. Because when you are starting with public speaking, first you have a fear, then you have this egoistic energy, let's say, to talk a lot, to explain a lot, to be as much as possible on the stage that everybody notice you. And a little bit you're losing then the quality of the speech and what you actually want to provide the value, and to understand the audience. And then the third stage actually is then to be brave enough to gather your authenticity, and then to offer the authenticity. And then it's not maybe 1 million people liking your post, but let's say 10, but those 10 people will be converted to your clients. And when actually got to that stage, but this is like maturity level of the public speaking, this is a good place to be. Second thing, regarding the communication, not just public speaking, the best way to practice it is public speaking. How to be concise regarding talking, and how actually to learn to express your ideas, and to learn how to express your way of thinking about the service, product, people, or whatever you are focusing on. And this is great because our first tool to utilize it is voice and way of communication. And you can be the best expert in the world, but if you cannot verbalize it, the idea or the stuff you're doing, it doesn't catch the drift. So you're losing a big time. one anecdote, 2017, I sold my first company and I was feeling like I'm now successful entrepreneur, that everybody should listen to me. I'm full of wisdom, and how can anybody ask me to explain myself? I'm sorry, and to see what I was doing, and how can you please Google it or something else? I'm bored with it. But actually, the point was then you need to have this subtle approach and understand that every people who are asking you a question, he is asking question not because of you, but because of him. And then the point of public speaking is actually to give ideas and answers to the audience and not to yourself. And actually, that big learning you need to understand. When you understand, it's skyrocketing. I was 6 figures company then, and now we are pushing to 9 figures. And mostly is because I learned how to express ideas. And actually, public speaking gave me the bravery and gave me this way of validating myself that I can speak in front of board of members of billion-dollar companies, because it's not easy thing to go to that people and saying you should do this and everybody is against it. So you need to be a little bit bold.
You need to be bold. That's a perfect place to end this interview. You've got to be bold, and public speaking is such a powerful skill. It can change your life, and it can change your business, and it can change how you see yourself. But it'll make a difference, and AI can't touch that. Not at this point in the game.
No,
So I
no,
love it.
no.
I just want to extend a huge thank you to you, Djuradj, for joining us on the show today. Your insights into AI and innovative leadership, they've just been eye-opening. And I'll bet everybody is a little bit gobsmacked, which is a great place to be, right?
Yeah, for just for the end, I want to offer to your audience 30%, 30 minutes free session with me. I can help them to channel them to the best solution of AI for their needs. And just ping me on LinkedIn and I will answer as soon as possible.
That's terrific. And everybody, I want to share with you the spelling, because Djuradj has a very interesting name and spelling. You're going to go to LinkedIn /in/DJURADJ. I will have that link for you in the show notes as well, so you can find him. But you might want to subscribe to his AI and I newsletter for some really thought-provoking ideas and strategies that are really reshaping the future of leadership. And his insights today have really shown us how powerful public speaking, it can be so amazing for your business in sharing transformative ideas, just like he has with us today, and leading the way in this evolving landscape. And it is evolving so fast. It's a roller coaster. To everybody listening, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Six Figure Speaker Spotlight. I hope you found this discussion intriguing as well as inspiring and informative. And while it's a fascinating topic, there's just no going back from AI. So I think you get it after this for sure, that it's important to embrace the ways that it can serve you. And Djuradj has some great, absolutely focused ideas of what will serve you individually. To get a session with him would be incredible. So if you enjoyed the show, please take a moment and let us know. Either like it, share it, subscribe. We invite all of that. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us grow our channel and bring you more valuable conversations like this and on the power of public speaking for you and your company. So we look forward to having you back for future episodes where we will continue to explore how public speaking can elevate your business. It will amplify your message, and it'll change the world. Until next time, keep using your voice to make your impact. And with that said, I look forward to our next conversation. So take care, everybody. See you next time.